to the cloud. And now we will stream live broadcasting, stream on custom service. All right. I personally believe at this very moment in time, we are just inches away. Of course, that's the wrong technology of terminology. It should be seconds away from being live on the world, streaming this beautiful
We are
broadcast.
live.
Oh, we are live. What do you know? Well, in that case, that's good enough for me. Welcome, everybody. Hey, 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 hey. We are here live once again for our 207th meeting of Thinking Out Loud with Friends.
I just want a headphone.
All right, put on a headset. That's good. That's a good idea. But in the meantime, just remember everything you hear today is an opinion. So do your own research. And thanks for everybody for all the birthday wishes that people sent me. By the way, Greg, you had mentioned to me that someone sent you a link of the Jan Landy group. Well, that's not true. There is no there. I did not start that group. So what happened? Tell me about it.
No, I deleted it. That's what I did.
No. Yeah, that's what everybody does with me. They delete me.
No. I mean, I know Jan. So if Jan was starting another group, there would be some fanfare about it. Yeah. And there was zero fanfare. And so it was a fake. I mean, what that says to me is that you've gained enough notoriety that people want to go ahead and spam all your followers and try and take their money.
Yeah, well, basically right now the scams are off the hook. And thanks a lot. But the reality is this, is you got to be careful. As I told Tina many years ago, even before spamming became, if you get a link from anybody and you are not expecting it, including me, do not click on that link. And I have an email that I send out when someone sends me something, and it says, hey, to protect myself from the virus, I've deleted the last email. If it's really you, please call me first and then resend. But I need to talk to you. And that's a rule that everybody should follow. If somebody sends you a link and you're not expecting it, you should actually call them and ask them if it's them that sent it. Now, the exception to the rule is David, although David has really gotten much better at this. There was a period of time where David was really keen on reading all of the newspapers and sending me every link that he thought would be interesting to me, which was an amazing amount of links. And so I couldn't keep calling him every 5 seconds, say, hey, did you send this link? Instead, I would just wait till I talked to him in general and say, hey, Dave, how many links did you send me today?
And I would say, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
David's defense, when he was in Japan with, what was the artist, Davis?
Toshiki.
Yeah. I got a request for David Dansky. I can't pronounce the artist's name.
Yoshiki. I'll pronounce it for you.
Yeah. And join this group, friend us. And I was like going, I don't think David would do that. I'm sorry. And so I just said, delete. There we go. Oh my God. Kurt Hare back in, Washington. Are you back in Washington or are you in Bend?
I'm in Washington, going to see the Stones.
Oh, very nice. The Hackney Diamond tour.
Yeah,
by the way, I got some compliments, Kurt. People have told me how funny you are. I've heard that you're very funny and very clever. And we've only gotten one comment in all the time that I could think of. We've only gotten one comment on YouTube, and the only comment I got, David, was something about you eating during the show. Someone said that the show is only an hour long. Can't you eat afterwards? And that was so funny. I thought that was hilarious. I thought maybe you posted that comment.
I just saw the stuff.
Anyway, so we were just speaking of spams, and there's a new scam right now. If you've lost your eye, and the reason I'm going to tell you this is because it's I just did this, and when you have an iPhone, you have the ability to find my iPhone, find my last phone, whatever, and it's called Find My. And what I found is that I went and looked at my Find My, and some of the apparatuses, the iPhone 3. I haven't had the iPhone 3 in God knows how many years, and my old iPad was on it. And so I started deleting these. And then the next day I read an article, and the article says that there's a new scam going on. If you lose your phone, somebody might call you up and say, hey, I found your phone, or I just bought your phone used, and I need you to take off I'll read it. iPhone scam, lost phone. So your phone was stolen. You're sad, obviously, but you must move on. So you file an insurance claim and you get a new phone. Sometime later, you start receiving worrying texts from a stranger who claims they bought your stolen iPhone and now has access to everything you saved to it. They say they have your messages, saved credit cards, passwords, even your SIM, so they accept all of your phone calls. That is a complete bullshit thing. It does not happen. And if you have Find My phone on Find My set, which everybody should have, if you have an iDevice, do not shut it off even after you sell the phone or lose the phone. Keep it on forever, and that prevents the crook or the person who bought the phone illegally to be able to access any of your material. So,
well, yeah, there's also the fact that if you're logged in with your iCloud account, the phone is locked to you, and they can't do anything. It's a brick until you give them the code. So
yes, that's right. So do that. Anyway, the latest, I think the latest what do you call it? Breach was with United Healthcare. They stole millions and millions of records. They're not really sure what they've done, but they gave me.
Verizon, I think, just sent me something, or someone else. Verizon sent me some kind of notice that somebody had hacked in and lifted customer data.
Yeah, I mean, everything you have, if it's on the net, it's already out there in the world. So, the one thing I always recommend to everybody is freeze your credit reports. TransUnion, Experian, and what's the third one? Anybody going once? Experian, TransUnion, and why do I have mental block on it? Equifax, that's right. Just free. They make it very easy to do. Just freeze it, and that way nobody could steal anything from you. Because whenever you either open a credit card or whatever, buy something, they run a credit report on you, and if it's frozen, they won't proceed, and so you're protected as well. Plus, you have a notice that somebody's accessing your credit, and for sure if it's not you. So that's a good tip. Anyway,
Absolutely.
last two things I want to say. Number one, you might notice my nose, and if you don't, well, you're not very observant. I actually did it to myself. I was standing against the wall. I had parked my car too close to the wall, and I tried closing the trunk, and I was a little angry. And thank God I didn't slam it harder than I did. Otherwise, I would have a broken nose. Instead, I just got a little gash there, which is healing quite nicely. Yeah, I was angry, and the trunk lip came out a little bit further than I thought, and I couldn't get away from it in time. But I'm just so thankful that even though I was angry at the time as I was shutting the trunk, that I didn't go. Otherwise, I would be in the hospital with a broken nose. Instead, just got a little cut. And the other thing I wanted to say is last week was phenomenal. I really loved that the stage tech demonstration. I thought that was great.
Yeah, so Curtis is here, my old friend, and he went to go see the Stones in Vegas, and said that the sound was absolutely stunningly good. And he's wondering if anybody knows who was doing the sound for the Stones in Vegas.
And what company or what gear they have.
It's Claire. Claire's been doing the Stones forever. Claire Brothers Sound. Claire Global has been doing the Stones since day one.
Do you know what console they're using?
I don't right now, but I do know that they've used a bunch of consoles. Originally, DB Sound was doing the Rolling Stones,
Right.
and they had Cadax on the show, at least for the monitor board. And yeah, they did. I know because I sold it.
Yeah. I know, but not on this tour. It's all digital.
No, it was a way. It was you know.
It's all
It was a
digital.
long time ago.
I saw
I'm sure
big.
No, I didn't say Digico.
Oh,
I
sorry.
said all digital.
Ah,
Yeah, get it together.
I saw a big Yamaha logo on one of the desks, but I don't know what that was for, that particular desk.
Right.
At the front of house.
And you know what? At the end of the day, who cares?
No, it's all good. Exactly. But I was just curious.
I might add, if you really want to know, Pro Sound News usually does a breakdown of the bands that are on the road and their complete equipment breakdown as well. So Pro Sound News, I believe it's prosoundnews.com, and they would tell you all the tours that are out or the big tours that are out and what gear they're using. So
I mean, they can afford Stones can afford the best of the best, you know. So
yeah,
sure.
they can. But Claire Brothers is, Claire Brothers has got more gear than probably any other company on the
The
planet.
question actually everybody should be asking is, who's FOH? Who's the A1?
sure.
And
I'm curious if it's
until you
analog.
have that answer, all the other questions are moot.
I mean, how hard would it be to mix that band analog anyway?
Extremely hard these days with arrays. Yeah. I don't know.
Just curious. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say anything because I'm gonna get a call if I say
I'm sure you will get a call if you say something, but the reality is they're old. They are old. They're having, no matter what they say, they have trouble hearing. Sometimes their vocals are not in unison. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make them sound good. It is a tough gig.
Yeah.
but Curtis just snapped a little bit of video and showed it to me. And I mean, like Mick Jagger, holy smokes, at 80, this guy is still nimble.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
The band themselves, I mean, well, Mick Jagger specifically is extremely fit. You know, as far as Keith is concerned, you know,
right. Who knows?
He's alive.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
I mean,
I saw Keith Richards on one of the talk shows. I think it was not Jimmy Kimmel, the other Jimmy. And what's his name?
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. And of course, Fallon's a musician as well. And he had an acoustic guitar. And it wasn't even, I think it was a nylon string guitar, if I remember correctly. And he was playing songs on this guitar. And it was just amazing, the sound that he was getting on TV. And
I heard that.
I just watched his fingers, and it just didn't seem that the way he was playing, he was going to get the songs that he got out of that guitar. But it was amazing. I mean, the knowledge that guy has with the guitar is amazing. He's such a talented guy, and to think of all the songs that they have written, even if they do sound similar, everyone has its own ambiance to it, and you could recognize, they have some of the most recognizable hooks of any music out there.
The songs are iconic. They're just iconic songs.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they've been around longer than we have.
Yeah.
Well, some of us have. They haven't been around
Well,
longer than
I
me.
tell
But
you what, here's a story that I can say. I was with a support group for Steel Wheels Europe. There was another support band with an engineer who the band is long gone. That engineer is now, we both know Jan, and he has his Friday blog.
Mhm.
I got into a poker game with Ronnie at the hotel in the bar. And he had ended up at last call, he owed me $2,000. That was in 1983.
Did he ever pay you?
And
Did he ever pay
yes,
you?
he did. I was a member of I'm a member of the local here in Tampa. The last tour that Rolling Stones played, Raymond James Stadium. I was coiling cables, and he came over to me and said, "You look familiar. Do I know you?" And I went, "Yeah, you mother effer. You owe me $2,000 for that poker game." And everybody, the crew chief said, "Okay, you're out of here. You don't get anywhere near the stage." And the tour manager at the end of the night came by and gave me $2,000 in cash. Ronnie's cool.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you must be a good poker player. You must be a good poker player.
No, I'm not. I just got a lucky hand.
Well, the only poker I like to play is strip poker, and the reason because I'm not very good at it. So the more you lose in strip poker, the more you have to show for yourself. That's what I say.
So do you
Is
guys
that what
know
Bo said, or what?
You know the name Anita?
One at a time.
Do you guys
go?
Speaking of the Stones, you know the name Anita Pallenberg, the woman who was around the Stones when they first started. She was a European. She was a fashion person. She was hugely influential, and she started dating Keith and had a couple of his kids, and they were a whole thing. And then she ended up, because it was the '60s, leaving him and fooling around with Mick Jagger. And then eventually, and so Keith Richards wrote a song, and I can't think of what the song is. And then she went back with Keith, and Mick Jagger wrote, "You Can't Always Get What You Want." There's a documentary about her that's just coming out now, that she's one of the most influential women in the history of rock and roll. And she's she was a fashion icon, and she was bigger than they were. So I just thought you might find that interesting.
Was she the one? Was she with the Beatles as well in those days?
I don't know.
Was she the one who helped the Beatles with the fashion?
She might have. She was like she's huge, and there's this documentary about her that's just coming out. I don't know the name of it, but her name is part of it. Anita Pallenberg.
Well, good. Do your own research. Somebody let us know about it.
Yeah.
An interesting thing, like you're saying about people who get involved early on and stuff like that, who you don't. Did you know that EMI signed the Beatles, right? I guess everybody knows that EMI Records signed the Beatles. But did you know that EMI had a medical division? Did you know that? And basically they were running out of money. They didn't have enough money. I forgot the guy's name. I think it was Westerman or something like that. He ended up going on winning a Nobel Prize for medicine, and thanks to the Beatles putting so much money into EMI, he was able to keep going with his medical test lab, and he was the one who invented the PET scan, and he won the Nobel Prize for medicine for that, thanks to the Beatles financing it indirectly through EMI.
Wow.
There you go. And if you believe that, I've got another one. I just saw that on TikTok.
Are you going out with your Eagles thing soon?
Yeah, I leave tomorrow. I've got a 5:30 a.m. pickup to get to the airport.
Where you headed?
This time it's Henderson, Tennessee, and then Bowling Green, Kentucky. And then I come home for 9 days, and then I'm out for 20 days. So we got all sorts of Midwest stuff. So
Sounds like you're doing a Chesney tour. I mean, come on.
these guys keep working, and as long as I'm having fun, the fact that we have this bus and the bus is at every gig, I can leave my clothes on the bus. I can leave stuff there. I don't have to travel with as much. It's pretty convenient.
Now, George has done it right. I have to say, as far as, he has really done it right with this Eagles tour. He's the official Eagles.
Authorized. No, it's a salute to the Eagles. Hotel
Salute to the
California,
Eagles.
a salute to the Eagles.
And he did it right. Basically, I haven't heard it. You heard it. I'm going to guess that they must sound very, very, very close to the original band, and they must be all very talented musicians.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. George says that they put a different spin on the songs, so they're not note for note the same, but the feeling is the same, and you really feel like you're listening to the Eagles. But it's in some ways it's even better because it's more current. So and plus when I get there, we're going to have all the PSM 1000s to hook up. So we're finally going to get our system completely finished, which would be good.
So are they still doing their own monitors? What you talked about?
Yeah. They carry a QL1, and they carry their own mics, and the band lays the mics out. So that's same every night. So that console hardly ever has to be touched. They've got the Axient mics for the head mics. They got those they're the crown mics, right? That come around the front like Garth.
Right.
So they use those, and now they're getting rid of the Sennheiser in-ears, and they're getting the PSM 1000s. It's all going to Dante together, and wireless workshop, and roll it in and ready to go.
Wow. Do you have problems with Dante, setting up Dante with front of house, or do you care?
No.
You just get a split?
We do analog to front of house. We carry an analog splitter with 32 tails, and wherever I go, I haven't gotten to the point where I say, let's just, hook into your Dante system and our Dante system together. Once it's all working, and I'm happy with it, and we'll try that. When we get to a place that's got a Yamaha board where I know that we're all the same. So, but
are you stacking a bunch of plugins?
No, I use what's on the boards because I have a different. You're talking about for the monitors? No, the monitors.
No. Yeah, but I mean out front, whoever you got.
No, I have a different console every day. So
right. Same with me. I'm a console hopper. You use what's in the board.
Right, and it sounds fine. I have no problem with that. And it doesn't matter what board it is. The show sounds good.
Yeah.
Every show. People love it. They come back and, he introduces me. He introduces the band, and then he says, and our sound engineer who travels with us all the time has an amazing history. And what he always says is, but the thing that impresses me the most, he says, is that he's one of the few people on the planet to have mixed the Barbra Streisand show.
Yeah.
And so the audience comes up to me and thanks me and tells me it sounds great because I've been introduced. I get a light, I wave to everybody. it's fun.
Yeah. That was the one gig, David, that I never got. I tried, because I had Frank at the Royal Albert in my pocket, and also I did Tony at the Savoy in London, but I could never do it. I always got downgraded.
Well, sorry to hear that.
She was doing some political stuff.
Yeah.
And her studio engineer vetted me because I was working with Bette Midler. and
Ah,
Bette Midler and Barbara were on the same event. And so
right.
being that I was already in front of house, they checked me out and they said, "You're fine. You can mix Barbara." And so I mixed her 3 different times,
Wow.
including I recorded her wedding for her.
Wow.
So yeah,
Did you get any blowback or response? Anything?
no, never heard a word. The-
No.
I can tell you this though, it was on DAT, and
Right. Right.
Marty Ehrlichman said to me, "I'm coming for that tape the minute it's over."
Right.
And he never did. He didn't come until the end of the night. But I'm saying to myself, millions of dollars,
Right.
death, a missing body, millions of dollars. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found an old videotape of that when this is really when you were mixing Bette Midler at the Blue Whale. For it was a
oh
benefit
yeah, that was an
show.
outdoor show.
Yes, it was an outdoor show, the Blue Whale. I found the video. It was horrible, a horrible video on my behalf because I just had gotten that huge, big video camera. It was just brand new video. Personal video was brand new in those days,
Yeah.
and it
about this
was
big,
Phantom of
right?
the Opera. Yeah, it was Phantom of the Opera. I looked like I was a professional cameraman. From the how big they were in those days. But it was interesting to
The
look at.
eyepiece, came in front of your eye, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it was Panasonic. I can't remember. And it put in you actually put in like a VHS tape. It was recording on a huge VHS.
There's-
Those were
there's-
the days.
to
Now
change the
everybody
subject-
uses this, and you get even a better video.
Yeah. Change the subject on that. The brand new Meta glasses when you record. I'm telling you what, it's better than any phone, or if you have binaurals on it, the Ray-Bans.
Right.
Right. But you can only record like 20 or 30 seconds.
Oh,
So, but I tell you what, it is stunning. And it records back. You can, in full frequency, you can bust it down to a WAV file. And, which is, full frequency. So there's no compression on the record here. There's compression in the app if you want to post it, but if you save it on your phone, you can export it out, and then it's amazing. So
now, where did you see this, Greg? Where did you see this?
I'm sorry, I have a pair.
Whoa, technology at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see the case.
No.
Let's see the case that it
Here's the
comes in.
case.
Well, hold it back up because I didn't see it. I'm going to pin you so that we could all see.
No.
Don't pin
I
you?
don't want to
All
go
right.
through it because I'm not there yet. Okay.
I just want to see the. I just want to see the case. That's all I want to see is how big is it.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
that's
Very
what
good.
it is. It's a glasses case.
there must be a lot of
Okay.
space in that case because they're only sunglasses.
Yeah, they're sunglasses, but you also have an adapter, extra, and then a whole bunch of marketing stuff. I'm waiting on the lenses for me because I'm 70 plus, and they're being Lens Crafters is doing the lenses for me. I pick them up. I might have them for next week, Jan.
Now, how intrusive are they when you put them on? Like for example, the Google Lens. I knew that wasn't going to work because that basically I felt like it was too intrusive into another person's lives. People don't mind photos as much, but people absolutely mind being videoed for whatever
Actually,
reason.
it is sneakingly even more intrusive because all you see is a red light on this side when you're recording.
So it does show, and you can't shut the red light off.
No.
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 It won't allow you to shut it
Yeah,
off.
on Google Glass. Wait a minute. Let me look. I have a Google Glass. Let's see here. This is my old Google Glass.
Wow. Well, you got to shut off the blur of the background.
Yeah,
you got to shut off your background.
All right,
otherwise
hold on.
Okay, very good.
How do I do this?
On the bottom left on the video.
Okay.
Oh, you're on an iPad.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the iPad really works well, and the audio sounds good from the iPad, which is insane.
Meeting settings.
It would be on the camera, by the camera.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, hey, happy Mother's Day to everybody. While Greg is doing that, I just want, and that would be a great thing to take to your Mother's Day party, so you can actually video what happens at the. Anyway, it's a little known fact that Mother's Day in the U.S. began as a tribute to one mother. Her name was Anne Jarvis. Did you guys know that? There's a fact, or do your own research. Anne Jarvis, she was a community organizer who raised money to buy medicine and childcare for families in need. And she died in 1905 before the second Sunday of May. And her daughter, Anna Jarvis, petitioned Congress for National Mother's Day as a way to keep her mom's memory alive. Anyway, decades later, when Mother's Day became about buying flowers and greeting cards and actually connecting with your mom, Jarvis was irate, and a printed card means nothing more than accept that you're too lazy to write to a woman who has done more for you than anyone else in the world. She fumed. And in 1940s, she actually petitioned to revoke the holiday. But by then, it was too late. So there you go. And Jarvis.
While you're watching,
happy mom.
I've shown them. These are my Google glasses. They actually still work. Mine are jailbroken, and these are my lenses in them. My lenses for my my Meta glasses are at are at Lens Crafters right now.
Very cool, man. Very cool. I didn't realize that you had Google Glass, and even more impressed that you were even aware of Meta glasses.
Yeah, well, I went in to get these new glasses, and they said, we have Meta Glass. And I said, fine, put that on the insurance for next year, and then I'll buy these. The big thing about everybody's saying about the Meta Glass is, obviously both devices got to be, tied to your phone.
Right.
But what you can do, what you can't do with Google Glass is say, hey, Meta, translate this, which would be great for you, Jan, when you're in Thailand, going, hey, Meta, translate this road sign.
That would be amazing to have that. Although I don't know what language you would translate it into, because all the signs are in English. English is the universal language for driving.
Is that the Thai language is.
Yeah, what I would love to see, because you drive down the street and most of the Thai stores are all written in Thai, although a lot of restaurants have English names to it, even though they don't speak English. But some of the restaurant names are in English, but they really don't know what it means. It's just, that's the way it is. So
I
anyway.
mean, without lenses, I tried them in the store and it was amazing. What I could do just by saying, "Hey, Meta." Before it was like, I'd have to tap up here to go ahead and record.
Mhm.
So I would, Jan, it might be good for you. I mean, can you imagine taking 20-second videos? That's all you can do. But there at the amazing beaches there.
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of video anyway because I have the phone. So the phone is always with me, and I have a bunch of different video apps that I could use to capture it. So I'm not limited on how much video I'm taking these days, and especially when you have someone in my life as my fiance. She loves posting to Facebook, so we do a lot of photos, a lot of video. There's some really good apps. I mean, I've been using lately. I've been using just the iPhone camera app to do a lot of the recording. However, there is a great app that I use called Spark Camera, and that makes it real easy to post to social media. I use Halide, Halide, as well. That basically turns your iPhone into like a DLR camera, where you could have a million settings. You could really fine tune the settings. And then for video now, I've been using the Blackmagic camera, which is a free app, and it's a mind blowing app. It's no one can compete with that anymore. As a matter of fact, there's
I
another
agree.
company called Filmac, who basically Blackmagic is putting out of business because they can't compete with Blackmagic on the video app. The video app is if you're not using it, you should download it for free. Blackmagic video camera. It's just spectacular, and I believe it's on all platforms, both analog and iPhone. So there's a tip. There's a tip. And by the way, the other thing is about your glasses is if a UFO comes into focus, you'll be able to take a 20-second video of it. And right now, US says UFO sightings are likely secret military tests. So if you see something that you think is a UFO and it's a secret military, we will send you cakes with files in them to try to get you out of jail. That's all I can say. So they have.
Well, yeah. Well, UFOs don't fly in Florida, so I'm okay. Nor do they fly in the Himalaya.
Yeah, that's right. One of the nicer mountain ranges, the Himalayas. That's all I can say. So, David, you said you were leaving tomorrow morning at what time?
5:30 in the morning.
Now, what about George? When is George leaving?
Oh, he's already in Nashville. He has to get to the bus. So he flew. Well, he has 3 places in the country to store the bus: L.A., Nashville, and Miami. So this next date is in Nashville, so he doesn't have to do the drive. But he possibly could fly tomorrow, but I think he flies today, and makes sure the bus is up and ready to go, and cleans out the trash and gets all the old food out of the refrigerator and all that kind of stuff.
You got to give him credit. I mean, he's really doing such a number right now, and yet he still drives the bus and he cleans the bus.
He books the band. I mean, he's really a one-man phenomenon when it comes to it, because the band works all the time. He knows what he's doing. So meanwhile, I want to tell you a story. So my granddaughter is 21, Natalie, and she's home from college for the summer, and she's coming to stay with us for 6 weeks. But she's in Vegas, and she's in the car with Erin, her mother, and Erin is on the phone in the car. Erin is a busy woman. She's got her own businesses, and Natalie is bored while Erin is on the phone. She can't play the radio or do anything like that. So Natalie takes the cell phone, and she looks at a picture of herself bored, and then she shows Erin talking away, and then she looks back to herself again, and she posts it on TikTok. Apparently, she hit a nerve. because in 24 hours it's up to 3 million views. She's gone viral with this thing with
Unbelievable.
on the car. Everybody's going, my mother does it too. I can't listen to my music. I mean, just 3 million. And she's got, I don't know, 2,500 replies so far. It's just so funny. And Erin,
That's phenomenal. That's great.
and the thing is that Erin had got, it was in the morning, it was 8 in the morning. She was driving Natalie somewhere, to the dentist. So she didn't do herself up. So she doesn't look her best. You know, her hair's a little, and so she's really upset that this has gone viral with her in the car.
Ouch.
24 hours.
Yes.
It's only
That's impressive.
3 million.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched it a bunch of times. We got it last night.
No, very cool. So Natalie sent you the link?
Erin sent the link.
Oh, Aaron said, oh, that's even funnier. That's really funny.
Yeah. But I mean, and Natalie's posting all the time. You know, she's a successful DJ now. She's working every weekend at college, making money, and she's a good-looking girl, and she dances great. Remember, she was in musical theater all those years, and she was with a dance troupe for football games, and so she's got a following. Thousands of people follow her, but this one went viral.
That's great. I'm happy for her.
It's the
I'm
first
happy for her.
viral. Yeah.
Monetize
Yeah.
it. No
Well, it will.
offense,
If for 3 million, she'll probably make about $10. But you know, it gives her a start now. Now that there's 3 million followers, when she posts the next one, she should be able to get a lot more followings. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
if you can get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you're making a more than a living. You have a life income there.
yeah, but the problem is you got to feed the algorithm.
Right. They were talking about that. The whole thing is like my mom embarrasses me or whatever they came up with. And they're thinking, well, let's do some other stuff. Erin, why don't you just tell Natalie how to dress? And why don't you tell her this? And why don't you? And I'm going like, oh, please, it could happen. They could lock something.
I doubt that's going to happen, but we'll see. You'll see. You'll see what happens.
Jan, I mean, even with this, I see you posting it. Well, last week you posted it 5 instances that I know.
Well,
Maybe
I only
more.
did that. Okay, so I did that to various Facebook groups because I wanted to give the stage tech
yeah,
some exposure. And it is working. It's got hundreds and hundreds of views.
right.
However,
well, and that's good. I mean, rightfully so.
I wouldn't do that with this show because this is just basically who people who find it. I'm not going to post this to another group other than the group that we have on Soundbroker. That's about it.
Mhm.
Those people that catch it. It's more like when we have something, I would like to get some more manufacturers in the room to talk about what they're doing. And it seems like it's a great idea to have not the main manufacturers, but the off manufacturers, the ones that are up and coming, with the exception of, I would like to have Alan and Heath come in and talk about their products. I wouldn't mind having somebody from Midas come in and talk about their new board. But I don't think we really need somebody from Yamaha or Harman or Digico.
No, what I would like to see here, I mean, first off, Kurt has for the past year an HD 96, a pair of them.
Yeah.
With all the support architecture, the DLs that you need for that. Right. And especially, and that's down at his gig in Oregon, and along with the gamble, of course, because you got to be true to it. But yeah, I'd love to hear that. I'm thinking of taking the train in August up to Oregon. from
Yeah,
Florida.
that's a fun ride. I've done that myself. I've taken the train from LA to Oregon, and it's a breathtaking train ride.
Oh yeah,
you know.
that's the Suncoast Starlight. But I'm talking Florida. I'd have to go Florida, Washington D.C., Chicago, then get on the Empire Builder and finally end up in California, then get on the Suncoast Starlight to come up to to Oregon.
Well,
So,
my goal, if it takes place, is when we come to the United States, and we're getting closer and closer to being in the United States, is either renting or buying a car and driving across the country and showing Bo the United States. And so
Why don't you get a small
down your neck
motorhome?
of the woods.
Get a small motorhome.
I don't know if I want a mobile home.
A small one, the kind that looks like a van, but it all has an
Sprinter
overhead
van.
What's the difference? You have a
I don't know.
refrigerator, make your coffee in the morning. I mean, you pull off somewhere, you have a good time, and it's just a little bigger than a car. And two of you are not very big, so
yeah, maybe that's an idea. I was thinking more of staying at a hotel room rather than camping for a couple of weeks.
You stay in a hotel room. I'm staying in hotels with the tour bus, but I got to tell you, it's really nice to be able to sit back and just open the refrigerator and get something out.
Look at Amtrak, Jan. Look at Amtrak. They don't leave from Las Vegas, but look at Amtrak from LA outwards.
Well, I believe they're already started building the high speed rail. Is that true,
It ain't going
Tina?
to
Have
be
you
done
seen
by
it?
the time you're married, though.
Yeah, they broke ground.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would like very much to be able to take the high speed rail if I could, but we'll see. It's a work in progress, and I have nothing in writing right now of what my plan is. But it will be coming together before I leave. That's for sure. I won't be just haphazardly leaving the country with her. We will have a game plan by the time we leave, and I will let you know right here on this show where we're going to be. So, by the way, I wanted to tell you, you see this chair that I'm sitting in right now? It may look very similar to the chair that I've been using all along, but this is a brand new chair. My other chair, which is right over there, basically looks very similar, but this is a better chair. And for my birthday, Bo said to me, "Well, I want to buy you something that you really need." And I didn't really think I needed a new chair, because I had this other chair. But it was a little uncomfortable because it was getting old, and we had the seat replaced, and they never replaced it correctly. It was a little hard, so I had to put a cushion under it. So Bo bought me a new chair, and I love this chair. It was like, I'll tell you one thing which I didn't realize. So when I got out of the other chair after sitting for an hour or so, I had a hard time getting up and walking. But with this chair, because it's more comfortable, I can get up and start walking with no problem. And so I never realized that the chair was causing the problem when I stood up, that it was a little more difficult for me to start walking. I just thought it was my knees. Now I find out it's not only my knees, but it was the chair. So here you go.
Who makes it?
Moderna, MORD. I believe it is. No, Logica is the name of the chair company. Logica. But it's a very comfortable chair, super comfortable chair, and it tilts back, and it also goes up and down. There you go. But what makes it a little bit different is you can control the seat, because this seat goes forward and backwards as well. So you could control the back support by moving the seat. It's a good chair. Very, very nice. Reasonably priced.
So it's been 2 weeks since you've been able to go through your list that that you prepared for these. So I will be quiet and go through the list.
The list of what? What list did I put together?
Topics to say.
His notes? Oh, what do you think he's been saying all this time in conversation? His notes.
I try to slip them in, like you don't know I'm slipping them in until
you don't know that he's saying, but he's been doing that all the whole show.
They're slipped in, They're slipped
know how I
in.
know
You're
that?
saying you're out of
It's
notes.
because I'm looking at the notes while he's talking.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole idea of being a good host. I offer you a coffee, a piece of cake. That's it. But I don't have the coffee and cake, so I have to slip in the stories. Like for example, like here's one that would just come right out of the blue and David loves to cruise. There's a billionaire right now, and he is building an exact replica of the Titanic. And basically, the early design, it shows that it's going to hold 2,300 passengers. And the question is, would you sail on that ship?
No.
No,
I wouldn't want to.
no.
I mean, he's going to make it for all first class. It's going to be all really high end stuff. But the ship is an old design, small rooms. I mean, if he's going to make it exact, it's a different kind of experience than the kind I like on a cruise.
Yeah. Well, I've only been on one cruise, thanks to you, David, and I loved it. It was really, really fun. It was a great cruise.
That was your only cruise?
That was my only cruise. Yeah. Only cruise
Hey,
ever.
David, I saw that the same company who did the cruise that you were on,
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing an 80s cruise.
That company has a 70s cruise, an 80s cruise, a flower power cruise, a 50s cruise, a disco cruise, an R&B cruise, a country cruise. They just have, and they all sell out.
Yep.
But do they have? But David, do they have a Tom Cruise?
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
David,
good. You're
Mission
right.
Impossible.
They're getting a whole bunch of the 80s cruise because what is it? Milli Vanilli?
Milli Vanilli. Yeah.
Yeah, is one of the headliners.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So David, what happens when it gets too hot out during the cruise? Because basically global warming or record global heat continues. It's like it seems to get hotter and hotter and hotter. April, for example, was the hottest month ever on record in the history of the planet. What happens when it gets too hot on a cruise?
You're at sea. It's not as hot as you would think. There's a breeze, and the sun is the heat, not the air. When you're in the sun on the deck, you feel the sun, but the air it's sea breeze. It's not so bad.
Tina, cue the show notes because I just felt that Jan's question was a leading one.
And the leading one of what? That it was hot?
I don't know.
I tell you. Well, it's so hot that soon we're going to have, did you guys hear this? That the cicadas are going to be coming back. I mean, in record numbers.
I think they're back.
Millions of cicadas.
I think they started already. But not here,
I wouldn't know.
Not in California.
Luckily, I haven't heard them yet because they are always over here where I live, and it's annoying. But I haven't heard them yet.
They're going to have 70. In other words, it's going to be more cicadas than ever before because a lot of them are going to, what is it, like a 17-year sleep period where they bury in the ground and then they wake up. I don't know how that works.
There's a 17-year period, and then there's another group that's a 34-year period. And it turns out that 2 or 3 of them are all coming up at the same time, which is why they're talking about how big it is. It's bigger than normal because the cycles are together. But they said something, it's the loudest animal or the loudest insect for sure. It's over 100 dB that they put out. So imagine a few billion of them.
Yeah, they're very loud, but I just haven't heard them yet right over here like I normally do every year. So...
Now, when one is making 1,000 dB, which is very loud.
Not 1,000.
100.
Yeah, 1,000 dB would make everybody deaf, I guess.
No, we'd melt. 1,000.
Well, we'd melt. So,
I
but
came
basically,
closest to anybody for that loud, with Artemis
But it looks
1.
like they'll be primarily in the Midwest
Right.
this year from the map, a projected map where they will emerge will be in the Midwest.
so I have a
I know
question
Jan
for you
has a
regarding
joke
this.
here. Hold on.
No. This is a serious thing. So if one cicada, let's just say one cicada puts out 100 dB of sound, and the second cicada puts out 100, does that mean that two of them together will put out 200?
No, it's 103. Every 3 dB.
Canceling.
Every
And they also have wings and legs moving, so there's going to be this dispersion, and canceling. I'm sorry.
It's
It's gonna
David,
be
you think it's a
loud.
big? So if you have two at 100, it becomes 103.
Well, that's how dBs work. It's logarithmic.
Right.
So 3 dB, 6 dB is twice as loud as 3 dB. 106 dB is twice as loud as 103 dB. And 190
Yeah,
dB.
but there's cancellation involved.
Okay.
Same frequency.
So if you have two at 100 and they're both making 100, how much sound how many dB will two of them put out? 200?
No, we just said it's
No.
3 dB is double. So with cancellation, it's just under 3 dB. So it's 103.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how many you have, it'll never get higher than, even if they're each putting out 100 and there's 100 of them, it'll still only be 103.
No, it'll be more, but it won't be 200.
Right. But that is
Well, you got to remember, Greg, tell them how loud the Saturn rocket is.
yeah. I'm not the Saturn, the Artemis 1
The
rocket
Artemis 1.
at over a mile. It was 129 dB.
So there you go.
So you have to
And-
wear protective hearing when you're working with this.
Yeah, I'd be dead. I'd be going, hi, Jan.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Just,
I know.
A
That
jet-
was the loudest. I mean, Jan, look at my latest Facebook post. 50
will.
years ago, from that post, it was November, what was it? November 22nd or 12th
Mhm.
is when Artemis 1 launched. And on an order of magnitude, it was incredible. In 1972, I was at the Columbus Agora doing front of house for Ted Nugent, who was at that time incredibly loud.
Yeah, that is loud. Chris, were you saying something about Ted Nugent?
I was saying Wango Tango. I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Newton.
No, I was doing it was the Amboy Dukes before it was Ted Nugent. He was in a loincloth with Fender's Super Twins, all hot rodded, 8 of them. And it was incredible. But yeah.
Definitely.
Artemis 1 was the it was the loudest.
Well, wasn't it the loudest man-made sound ever?
Not recording.
Not louder than
according
Blue
to
Cheer?
NASA,
I thought Blue
according
Cheer
to
was the loudest
NASA,
band ever.
Yes, but not according to Guinness Book of World Records or whatever.
Really? I thought it was.
I got my hands on a 96K recording of Falcon 9 Heavy taking off. And I put that through these Myers, and I'm telling you, the entire room was shaking. It was absolutely mind-blowing audio.
Chris, I recorded sub 5 hertz live, and that was on the only desk. No Yamahas could handle it because their circuitry choked anything below 7 hertz. Okay, it was just the way they can go ahead and maintain signal hertz. The only thing that could do it was an S6L, and I had no idea how to use an S6L. But I had
7 hertz, Greg. 7 hertz is so low. Can you actually hear? Could the human ear hear 7?
No, you can't hear it, but you can hear the harmonics. You need the fundamental for the harmonics to sound good. A harmonic, 2 hertz fundamental with all the harmonics makes all those harmonics that we can hear sound great.
Well, that sounds like a Norton Buffalo album, the harmonics.
No, it reminds
or
me.
Paul
it
Butterfield.
reminds me of when. Remember the movie Earthquake? That they came out, and they came out with, it was quad kind of, and all these huge Altec speakers behind the cinegraphic, things for the earthquake to shake everybody in their seats.
I thought that's when Sherwin Vega got the contract to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But what made it good was you had all this low stuff that was going everywhere, but you heard 3 octaves above it. The fundamental makes, it just makes the harmonic sound good.
You know what's a good thing? And I got to tell you something. This is, as I look around the room, Chris is like the youngster here in this room. Chris is the youngster, but basically, we all have the potential of working well until the day we die. That's a really it's an interesting thing, and it's amazing how much experience there is in this room. Amazing how much life experience is in this room. But what I just found out is that the fastest growing population of the workforce right now in the United States?
Seniors.
75 plus. 75 plus. That's the fastest growing age, according to the Pew Research. I don't know if I believe anything the Pew Research says anymore, or any research companies, because I don't even know where they're getting their information from. It's like crazy.
Seniors need the money. That's why.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, they want to go, welcome to Walmart.
There's more jobs than that. I know. So they're working well past the retirement age for several reasons, including high cost, low savings. Forecasters expect the cohort of workers aged 75 plus to double over the next decade as retirements plan evolve. So there you go. There's a possibility for us to be working till the day we die.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Well, the way the Artemis program is going with all the delays and the delays on the Boeing Starliner launch, I may be working as an engineer until the day I die. And I have a guest list for the Artemis 2 launch that long.
Yeah.
And,
every seat on that, I believe, is a door seat, right? That's it. You're right by the door. Is that it? The exit seat. That's it.
No.
The
I
exit
gotta
seat,
wear a
yes.
diaper. There's huge jokes about all that. So
yeah, Oh well, that's it. Who wants to say something before we shut off this and just stay in the room and BS amongst ourselves?
Oh, this one went fast.
Yeah, an hour is gone, man. We started an hour ago, 6:13 now, Las Vegas time. or East or West Coast time.
Are
For
you
those that are
you
listening.
both going to see that new movie, Funsy movie, If?
No, we'll see it. We go to the movies every Wednesday.
Okay.
I would go more often, but Wednesday they have this. All the movie theaters here charge only $3 to go see a movie. You know, all ticket prices are $3. So we saw
Let me
Fall
know
Guy
how that
last
is.
week. I
In
love
English,
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
English subtitles, or are you getting English with Thai subtitles?
It's English with Thai subtitles on the first run movies. You can see it in Thai, but I don't understand it, and I don't. You know, the whole thing is that the actors have their own cadence. The actors have their own expressions. The actors have, you know, the vocal tones that you're used to hearing. And so when they do it in Thai, no matter how good the Thai speaker is, it doesn't capture the same emotion as the original acting in the
Yeah.
original language. So I prefer watching it in English, but I really like The Fall Guy. A lot of people didn't like it so much. Did you guys see it? Anybody here see it
I
but
thought
me?
it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a funny movie. I mean, look, if you're looking for, you're looking for some continuity and making perfect sense, then that's not the movie for you. But if you're looking for a movie with a lot of action, a lot of special effects, some good-looking actors, you know who was in that movie? The woman from Ted Lasso.
Oh,
She had
Waddington.
what's her name? Sarah Paddington.
No, Sheila was not Sheila. Her last name is Waddington. I just can't remember her
Yeah,
first.
Waddington.
Hannah.
Hannah Waddington. Yeah, she's really made all of a sudden that Ted Lasso show really catapulted her all the. She even had a Christmas special where she was singing and dancing, with the rest of the crew, which is kind of interesting.
So I just saw the Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh boy, how was it?
Well, special effects are pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's a story. It could have been a people story instead of a chimpanzee story. It's power and influence and love and all that stuff. But they did.
I think it's a modern interpretation of Animal Farm, kind of to a degree.
It's motion capture, and it's done amazing. Andy Serkis, the guy who did Gollum, he's an amazing. He's walking, and it looks like he's really a chimp. It's incredible. But I just read today that Furiosa, which is the new Mad Max movie, that's got Anna
Right.
Taylor-Joy in it. They just showed it at Cannes last night in France.
Mhm.
It got a 7.5-minute standing ovation after the movie was.
Wow.
For that type of movie?
That kind of movie. So the article I was reading said the first 2 or 3 Mad Max movies, nobody paid attention to them. They made money and all that. Mel Gibson and all that. Nothing. No Academy Award. Nothing. Then Charlize Theron comes out with the first one, and it got nominated for 10 awards and won 7 of them, all technical awards. So now it's been recognized, and they're saying that this one is better than all of them. So I'm just putting the word out that this could be the one to see. I'm going to go see.
All right. Well, I know I love the action movies, the Fast and Furious kind of things, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
The same, different theme, different country.
I got to tell you, David,
car.
southern France right now and that whole area, I mean, it's nuts. There's Cannes, and then 4 days later, the run up to the F1 in Monaco. It's
It'll be nuts
you
there.
don't want to be around there, put it that way.
Well, look, Vegas had the Super Bowl and the F1 within a week or two of each other also, right?
Right.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah, and
living
I got to
in South
tell you what.
France,
Speaking of F1, the Vegas F1 got huge props after the huge money fest of the Miami F1. It was awful. I know people that went down there and they said hey, we can't see anything unless, we spend, 50 grand. It was horrible. And it was just, Miami is Miami. They're in my state, but I don't drive there.
Well, I hear you. I hear you, but be careful. Be careful how you drive because the life you save might be mine. So be careful. That's all I could say. All right. With that in mind, is there anybody that has anything else they want to say before we say goodbye to the streaming audiences?
No.
And that's it. Goodbye, streaming audiences. Thank you so much for listening to those people on YouTube. By the way, we put out the YouTube videos, which is live right now. You can watch it at any time, but also it's on Facebook and it's on LinkedIn. And we also do a podcast, so we take the audio version and throw that up as well. So for people driving in their car that want to listen rather than watch it, that's available to you. Remember, give it a thumbs up if you like the show, and if you don't like the show, as I always say, give it a thumbs up. Share the show with your friends. Although this one, I don't know if we would share, but hey, it's in the books now. It's in the books, and thanks a lot. I really appreciate some of the things that what
do
came
you
up in
mean
the
we won't share? Hey,
Dan. Well, if I was you, I would be sharing to everybody.
I mean, my goodness.
It's almost like that old joke, where the guy goes into he goes into he's a rabbi and he goes in to talk to the priest and he tells him his story and he's saying, why are you telling me this? You're Jewish and I'm Catholic. And the rabbi said, I'm telling everybody. So there you go. He was very happy. If you don't know that joke, I'll tell it some other time, but not tonight. So with that in mind, remember, you make it happen. Stay safe and stay healthy. And next week will be 209. 209 meetings together. Thanks so much, guys, for making it happen, because you make it happen. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye now. And stay safe and stay healthy. And all I got to do now is figure out how to stop the streaming. All right, there we go. We're off the air.